The opinions expressed within the content of this podcast solely that of our guests and do not reflect the views and beliefs of the Bigfoot and Paranormal Encounters podcast, its hosts or its affiliates. Dave Weigert was born and raised in Baltimore, Maryland. His family has seen and experienced far more than most families with strange encounters and tragic moments. Dave, the youngest of 4 children and the only living sibling, went on to have many strange encounters throughout his childhood and adult life. At age 20 he began his journey to learn about the unknown. Dave has a background with Baltimore County Fire and Police, private security, bodyguard, bank security and security for a Baltimore sports team and other law enforcement agencies. Dave started the Maryland Paranormal Research Team in 2003 and closed the doors in 2016. He started Other Voices on the MPRT radio network along with a newsletter. From 2007 till 2016 he was the curator for the haunted Ramblewood Mansion. He hosted years of paranormal research and investigations at the location. Dave was also a mobile DJ for 35 years. Dave was a speaker at a number of colleges speaking about the paranormal to students. Dave founded the Maryland Bigfoot Research Team in 2018 and left it to a former member of MPRT. He now resides in Bucks County, Pennsylvania near his grandchildren. He has since founded the Mid-Atlantic Bigfoot Research Team. He currently hosts a podcast weekly called Bigfoot and Paranormal Encounters Podcast. Let's welcome Dave to the podcast.
Welcome to Bigfoot and Paranormal Encounters Podcast. And now your host, Dave Weigert.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Bigfoot and Paranormal Encounters Podcast. Man, I'll tell you, it's been a couple crazy weeks. I've been sick. My wife is sick, and we just can't shake it. But we're gonna beat it. So we have a guest tonight, and I'm gonna bring him on. And before we start talking to him and ask him questions, I'll go ahead and play his bio. But right now, without further ado, let's bring in Chris Miller.
Hey there. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Chris. Well, I want to
All right.
yeah, I can hear you good. I want to thank you and for being my guest tonight. We'll go ahead and start the chat room
My,
in a
okay, my
moment or
pleasure.
so. But let me. What's that?
I said it's my pleasure.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Let me
having
just
me.
play your. You're very welcome. Let me play your bio.
Chris Miller is a United States Army infantry veteran with the 1st Airborne Air Assault Division. He is also a published artist and a survivalist instructor as well as a content creator on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. Chris is 42 and grew up in the Missouri foster care system. He has his own art business and sells products on his website, www.aos_sketch_squatch.com. He has a passion for raising awareness for child abuse and neglect. Hiking and foraging, rock and artifact hunting are a few of his hobbies. He goes by the name Chris Miller. In efforts to help people find him, AOS stands for the art of survival. Let's welcome Chris Miller to the podcast.
There you go. I didn't like that too much, but you know, when you use different
It's all right.
software, sometimes it can, yeah. But Chris, let's start off by you telling us a little bit about yourself and what got you, what inspired you to get into Bigfoot.
Well, I've been interested in Bigfoot for a really long time. Ever since I was a kid, actually. I read all kinds of books about it. I always thought it might be something I might run into, but never really thought seriously that it would happen or anything. Basically, I heard a noise October 15th, roundabout 2021. And I'm actually sitting in the spot where I heard it. I'm sitting on my front porch right now, and about 12:30 at night, and it scared me like none other. I'm pretty familiar with woods noises, critters, you name it. I can tell you what most animals are, and this was unlike anything I'd ever heard. I've never heard it on anywhere. You know, basically, it just kind of starts off real low. It sounds like a tornado siren. It's like, whoa, and it just kept going. And it made two little noises afterwards, like a short staccato noises. But I wasn't concerned with that. It was the long. Felt like my blood ran backwards and got stuck in my head. I could hear my heartbeat in my ears. Bam, bam, bam. It kind of stunned me for a second. I thought, what in the world is that? And I thought to myself, I said, I don't care if it kills me. I got to go out there and see what it is. So I ran out there. I've got a little short sidewalk out front. And I saw one of my cats, and he was really freaked out at the end of the sidewalk. And he was kind of zeroed in. I've got these big white oak trees, and he was kind of looking up in one of those trees. And, for the longest time, I thought maybe it was an owl, but it took me months to find out or actually find the same noise on YouTube. I wrote it down. There's a video called Screaming Sounds in the Woods, Rocks Thrown at Camera, and it's from Georgia, 2013, and that was the only place that I found it. And it's almost identical, just a little louder and a little closer. Like I said, nothing matches it. I mean, it was so loud that, I mean, it felt like it vibrated my insides.
Wow.
It shook me up for a good long time. About 8 months, I was kind of on high alert. So that's kind of where it started for me. So fast forward about maybe 2 weeks to a month. I'm not exactly sure. I should have wrote this stuff down, but I wasn't really thinking about telling anybody. But I invited a friend of mine over for deer hunting, and so he came over that night. We stayed up. Oh man, we hadn't seen each other or talked for about a month, so we had a lot of catching up to do, and we stayed up till about 2:30, and we had to get up at like 4:30. So I said, well, why don't I just go ahead and start cooking breakfast? You can take out my puppy, which I got a German Shepherd, and he was a puppy at the time. So I'm cooking eggs, and I hear something crash in my room, and I didn't think too much about it. And he comes in, and he said, yeah, that's that noise you heard. I said, yeah. He goes, I just heard it too. And I thought he was making fun of me. And he sat down and he started YouTubing and Googling animal noises. So that's when I knew he heard it. So that morning, that was deer hunting 2021. So around about November 15-ish. And we hunted an opening morning from my shop. 2 infantry guys did. So we didn't give each other we didn't razz each other too bad. We were kind of half joking about it, but I wasn't going to make him go in the woods and he wasn't going to make me. So, it still sticks with me a little bit. I got over it though. Finally, thank goodness. I like going out in the woods too much to let it beat me, but, another encounter that I had, I took my son for a walk, and I was just kind of trying to do a kind of just little mini survival, class. Just show him some things, and I grabbed my binoculars, which I don't normally carry. I just going to show him how to use them, and I put them up to my eyes. I thought I saw something, and it looked like a face looking at me. And I pulled up the binoculars, and sure enough, right there, I didn't have to adjust them or nothing. I could see what looked like a Bigfoot head looking at me. And, if you've ever walked through the woods and actually had a stare down with something that wasn't real before, pareidolia, if you will, you don't really know until you walk up to it or you move, change angles, something, which I took a few steps to the left, took a few steps to the right, and it was the same, and I tried to act like I didn't notice it. My son was kind of, let's see, that was probably 3 years ago. So he's pretty small, and he wasn't real experienced in the woods. I was half tempted to send him back to the house so I could go investigate, but I thought better of that. So we just kind of left. But when I raised up binoculars, I said, "What the hell?" And he goes, "What is it, Daddy?" He knew. He could tell by the tone of my voice. And I was trying not to freak him out, but at the same time, I was trying to let him know, what was going on. So that's about the most encounter I've had. But to top it off, I went back out the next day or two, and what I saw that day was what I thought was a white oak tree laying on its side on the ground. And I saw that head just sticking up, and it was kind of like a 3/4, kind of not really looking at me, but kind of, like I said, I didn't see it blink. I didn't see any movement. I just saw like the head looking at me like this. And I've heard that's kind of normal behavior, but
I've heard that before, yeah.
there's no dead tree over there. You know, when I go back over there. But what is over there? There is a wet weather like washout that I never really noticed before. But there's a like almost like a sinkhole right there that I've never noticed before that, which is kind of interesting. Um, I've actually tried to dig out that sinkhole before. I found a about a something about like that, like an artifact, like a preform or maybe like a spearhead or something.
Mm-hmm.
I found an X structure, which I had already found that. I think I had already found that before I saw it because we were actually within sight, and I believe you put that picture up. That still is standing to this day. It's still right back there.
Wow.
It's only maybe like 20, 30 yards in the woods. I've found some like from the back of my shop.
Okay.
About maybe 15, 20 yards is where the wood line starts behind my shop. And then it's maybe another 30 yards. Like if I wasn't worried about losing reception, I could walk you out there right now. There's enough daylight. Let's see. There's a lot of weird structures I've found. Like I'll just draw you a quick little picture. I found a tree that looks like this, and I just recently learned it might be an Indian, kind of like an Indian. What do you call it? Almost like the way they talk. You know, letting people know certain things. I have no idea what it means, but kind of looks like a tuning fork or maybe like a slingshot.
Right.
That's on the other side. So there's some woo stuff that kind of comes along with this property. I don't really like talking about that part of it too much, but I will. We moved in to take care of my wife's aunt, and she was kind of involved in some, I'll just say darker stuff, if you will. And I had heard a story about a Bigfoot before I moved here, and she had a guy helping her do some work, and I guess he was on top of a structure doing some drilling or screwing or something like that. And I guess a rock came flying out of the woods or something, and it caused him to flinch, and he broke his drill bit. And I'm still trying to vet that story. I've reached out a couple times, but I haven't heard anything back. So I was told he didn't want to leave the house unless her husband, my wife's uncle, escorted him out with a 357. So that's one story I've heard. The aunt claims she's seen eye shine. Oops, had an avalanche behind me. Trying to block some of this light so maybe you can see me a little bit. I don't think it's woo. Let's see. So my buddy Austin, gone. This isn't cooperating.
Yeah, it's fighting with you. Huh?
So my buddy Austin, yeah, it is. It knows I'm talking about it. He was fishing the other night, and him and a buddy had a rock fly out of nowhere. About a place maybe 8 minutes from my house. Place I like to go to, and I look for arrowheads and stuff. And yeah, it is. So his buddy thought he threw a rock. He actually saw it right before it hit the water. He said it was larger than a softball. So not anything a guy would really want to throw. You couldn't throw that overhand, I don't think.
Yeah.
I mean, you could maybe manage it underhand, but where that is, there's not really anywhere for anybody to like sneak up, and like you can see kind of all around. Let me think. Okay, so I live across the street from a church. This is kind of rewind a little bit. Um, I already started drawing and doing the animations and whatnot, and there was a break-in. Kind of stopped a break-in across the way, and I was talking to this guy the next morning. They kind of let me track where these guys had done their dirty work, and I'm sitting there just small talking to this guy, and I show him kind of what I'm drawing and stuff, and I go to describe it. He goes, "Oh yeah, I know what that is. That's a Bigfoot." I thought, no way. So I didn't tell him where, I didn't tell him when, but he said he actually saw and heard it. He said, this is a completely different guy, said he heard rocks being thrown in the water. So I guess they saw it run away. He said it was the size of a grizzly, said it was the same color as a grizzly, which we've got black bears and mountain lions around here, but I doubt there's a grizzly. So he saw that 4 miles, I believe 4 miles from my house. And it was the same time period I saw, or, all the stuff happen here. I think it was last year, I went to get my deer tag at Walmart, and I was talking to the guy behind the counter, and he mentioned a small town maybe 2 miles away from here, maybe 2 to 4 miles away, that there's other people in this area that's heard the same thing. So I've heard it on total twice. So I heard it the first time, then my buddy heard it, and then I was on high alert. And that's when I started working nights. And I was kind of on guard duty. And I thought, well, I'll just sit here and record it. If I can, just be ready to hit the record button. And but I heard it off kind of to the south of me, pretty far away. But there's no mistaking this noise. If you've ever heard it, then I mean, it makes my blood run backwards every time I hear a barred owl, because they have that kind of same build up. They're like, woo, and then they kind of do their thing. Sorry about the notifications. I'm not really sure what to do about that. So that kind of tops off, what I've found, all my legwork, and I'm still working on the guy I told you saw the rocks, or heard the rocks going in the water. I've talked to him, but he recently had a work accident, so he's kind of in bad shape. So let's see. So
now let me. I just want to stop you for a second.
Go for it.
All the rock throwing cases that I've ever read about, have you ever read about anybody being hit or hurt?
I believe Robert Kreider. I think it was Robert Kreider. He was one of the ones that I've heard of. That one comes to mind. I can't think of any other ones. I've read and listened to thousands of encounters, probably.
No.
Quite a few, actually.
Right.
So I didn't really set out to do all this. And, so I realized that people would say, well, he's got motive. He's just trying to sell his art or whatever. But I really didn't want to move out into the country and be the city guy that, now here's Bigfoot. I've had everybody tell me, oh, you heard a screech owl, you heard this, you heard that.
Yeah.
I know what all those animals sound like. So
Right.
Like I said, I almost want to look it up on my tablet just so I can play it for you. I'm sure I think you heard it.
Yeah, I
It's
should
that
have.
loud, long.
If I'd have thought about it, I would have.
I can look it up real
put
quick,
yeah.
probably.
Do you mind? You don't mind, do you?
Yeah, no problem. No,
Yeah, I could have put it in the library, but I didn't think about it with everything going on.
Bear with me. I'm not the best at these things, but I'm having to get used to it. I can operate my phone pretty good, but the tablet's kind of way different.
I'm going to adjust something here. I want to make sure that I'm not. Let's see.
I've already got it.
Okay.
Oop.
The NFL's different.
Okay. So on that video, it's called "Screaming Sounds in the Woods, comma Rocks Thrown at Camera, Georgia 2020 or Georgia 2013." And it's at the 3 minute and about 3 minute mark. Just bear with me here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you could hear that or not. Could you hear that?
One more time. Somewhat.
Okay. I'll try to hold it really close to the microphone.
Yeah, as soon as it really got into it. Okay.
I think I might have the microphone on the wrong end.
I heard it a lot better that time.
The recording doesn't do it justice, I'll tell you that. One more time. I might have went too far. Yeah, I did. I'm sorry. Oh, here we go. And I've heard people say that, oh, that was just somebody messing around. I was hoping somebody would say that. I was literally just waiting for a friend to say, man, we got you good. We got you really good. You should have seen your face. I waited and waited and it never happened. But to do that around here the night before deer season is not very smart. That's when everybody's ready to go in the morning. So I don't think anybody could do that with their mouth.
Not that long.
And it was actually longer than that.
Yeah.
That was the closest I could find to it.
Now back in the 80s, the one I heard was similar to that, but different. And it also drew out for a good yell.
There's been a few times where I thought I heard talking in the woods, but I can't really, stick by that. But there's a couple times where I felt like I've been watched.
They say they can mimic, so
I hear coyotes, maybe not every night, but just about every night. I'm real familiar with what they sound like. I'm real familiar with man, like I can't even think of an animal that would do that. And I would love for
It's
somebody to hop on here and tell me, "Oh, that's this."
right.
I'd love that.
Yeah, you usually don't hear coyote. When it's a pack of coyotes, you hear them more than one. Do you hear
I've recorded them
singles?
quite a few times.
Hmm.
No, I I've caught a fox. See, I like to record. I like to record animals. So I've caught a fox. I've got it on video. I've got some. Man, I don't know what it was, but it sounded like the whole pack of coyotes are getting their butt kicked. That's on my page. Um, let's see. I did find a few weird things. I find a lot of dead animals. Um, I think it was last year. I found an armadillo in my front yard, and it was like something tried to bury it, but they didn't do a very good job. Which I would think would either be a bear or a big cat,
Hmm.
which they've both been sighted here. I actually found bear prints like 20 foot from my shop door. And I've also found I found the scat quite a few times in my woods, and then I actually quit feeding the hummingbirds because of them. It was bringing them up too close to the house, so that was part of the reason why I decided to get the dogs. Uh, I noticed too. This is something that I don't talk about much, but I put up that big halogen light in the backyard just so I could kind of see the puppy doing his business at night. And it was right about that time is kind of when everything kind of got started.
Mm.
If you hear any noises, I've got a bunch of kittens over there. They're just now getting old enough to like tackle each other and stuff.
No, right now. I'm reading. It says some destinations won't get comments. Learn more. Why?
One more time.
It's got it at the top of my chat room. It says some destinations won't get comments.
I don't know what that means.
I've never seen that with YouTube, but Facebook, yeah, I can see that. I'm gonna click on it and see if I can. Let's see. Repost. Give me 1 second. Let's see. That's clicked on. Let's see. Let me go down a little further. Yeah. Everything's clicked. I'm not seeing anything as of yet. Yeah, everything's correct. Okay. Go ahead.
No, I can't. I can't help you much.
Yeah,
I'm learning.
it's like Facebook is changing every single day. But I don't
Yeah.
understand why I'm not seeing any comments from YouTube listeners. So I do have it open. When I was with Restream, I know the listeners had to give permission to Restream to post their name and comments, but I don't know. I'm going to have to look into it more tonight.
Okay. Yeah, I'm still pretty new. I've been on a few podcasts now, but so far this has been the least stress I've had. Leading up to it and during. Like I don't really like being on camera. It's too much like holding eye contact. I don't like it, but
Right.
it is what it is. It comes from childhood stuff.
Right. Let's talk a little bit. Let's talk about your art. Very interested in your art.
Sure.
What yeah. What inspired you? What,
It was a whole bunch of different things all kind of lined up. I've always wanted to do something with my art, but it's not the easiest thing to market. And, I've always liked drawing. I've drawn ever since I was a kid. Um,
Mhm.
so I'd say the biggest part of it was I was watching Bigfoot Odyssey, and Kerry Arnold, is one of his lives. He said something to the effect of, like, he wanted someone to draw what he saw, and I just thought, oh, here's my opportunity, So
Right.
I wrote in, I'd gladly do it or something like that. And at the end of the show, he said, yeah, hit me up, Chris. And I thought, oh my gosh, here's my big break, right? Well, because it involves an email, I dragged my feet. And, it doesn't sound like a big deal to anybody else, but at the time, that was like a big scary monster. And I didn't, like I said, I waited for a month, and he passed away after about a month after that comment. And it really kind of, like, I don't know, I was kicking myself because I didn't like Carrie for the longest time. And then he grew on me. I realized what I saw in him I didn't like, and it was just him trying to get it right. He was trying to make a production, and he wanted it to come off well. And after your 20th try, like, I know fully well now, you get a little frustrated. Some of these reels that I make, nobody sees the backside of it, but I've recorded one of them. I lost count at like 30. Like, it was just horrible. I don't really want to put anything bad out there. I want my content to be good. But so there's a whole bunch of different things. My wife bought me an app that, like, you can morph someone's face. They take their picture and kind of put it to music, and it makes their face look like they're singing the song. Well,
I've seen that.
have you seen that? Okay, so that's how I got started, and I'm always doing experiments. I like, what if, it doesn't hurt you to try it. Excuse me, I got that dry tickle thing. And so I took a picture of my Bigfoot drawing, and it actually worked. And it was off, the mouth was wrong or something, but it looked like I could fix it. So I erased the mouth, and I tried again, and it took me 2 or 3 tries, but I actually got it to work, and I was hooked instantly, and I've been hooked ever since. And I figured I better do as many of these as I can before I can't. Whether the technology changes, the rules change, I don't know. I just, something drove me, and either way, here I am. I keep beating a dead horse, and they say that, doing the same thing, expecting different results. I'm not really expecting different results. I'm getting the result that I want, so that's why I keep doing it. Here's one I'll share with you. I haven't really used it. I'm still thinking of it. I'm trying not to touch the paper too much. You
That's
see
awesome.
that one?
I like that.
It's hard to get the lighting. Thank you. And then I was messing with this one. I'm not really liking it, but it might turn into something. Yep. Like I said, a lot of times they'll look one way, and by the time I get done with it, it'll look completely different. Right now, I'm kind of in that discovery Like, I've noticed all my drawings go through like a really ugly phase, and then I pull it out of nowhere. So I've used most everything else, but here's one. Just why not? This one's all dots.
Wow.
And if you look, you can kind of see my name. Can you see my name on the chest?
Is it on the right shoulder in the?
Let's see. So I'm gonna put my pen right where the M starts,
Okay.
and it works its way down. Yeah, it said
Now I
Miller.
see it. Yes.
That cost me quite a few hours to try to hide that in there. I like to hide things. Kind of makes people slow down when
That's. I was just
I'm
going to
sorry?
say that's not even a spot. I was looking to try to find your name. I was looking around the shoulder area. Yeah.
This one's not really a Bigfoot, but I can't really use it. It's just that's something I've kind of had on my brain for a long time. I like to draw something different every so often, just to kind of, so I don't get burned out on it.
Mm-hmm.
I draw Dog Man sometimes.
So, have you ever done Mothman?
You know, I've been thinking about doing Mothman, but I don't really like any of the what's the word? Like the descriptions. They don't really seem very like, maybe not descriptive, but is it a human head with like big bug eyes with antenna or not?
Pretty much.
You know, I really don't know for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I did the Creature from the Black Lagoon. I got that one to animate. I was pretty proud of that one. See, a lot of these don't really see the light of day. You know, they just don't get shared or whatever, but let's see.
Oh wow.
I really like that one.
That is
me being a soldier, but so the idea with my website is, if you like any of these, you're supposed to be able to get on my website, and then you can put them on various things, like maybe like a blanket or a print or a coffee cup. And I've worked it into my head that it's this big, huge thing. Well, now it really is, because I'm behind like 200 images probably that I need to take good pictures of, and then I need to upload them. And I actually did 100. Oh, it's probably been 4, 5, 6 months ago, and I used the wrong email, so I have no idea where they are. They never made it to the destinations. Wow. You know, it's really frustrating because, you know, I'm having to learn all this stuff. It's work, and it's really stressful, and I'm getting there. I'm a lot better now than where I was 6 months ago, so I'm actually getting ready to put everything on hold for a minute. I need to go back and finish this one, but I like drawing mythical things because there's no rules about it. I can draw it the way I want to, and nobody can tell me I drew it wrong. If any of your listeners or anybody you know has seen a Bigfoot and they think it might be helpful to them, I mean, I've had it out there for 2 years now. I'd really like to try. You know, I can't guarantee that I get it, but I have a feeling that I could now. My art's actually comes out a lot like I had it in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's not, I can sit there and work on it long enough. Like I was telling you before, I'm officially going to be the sketch artist for Bigfoots of Michigan. So I'm looking forward to that.
Great.
I know my content is kind of, a lot of people they just think I'm poking fun at Bigfoot. But, in the infantry, that's what you do. When you're on a road march and, you just really want to quit, you just start making jokes and you just kind of, you embrace the suck is what they say. And, humor just makes everything better. It seems like it helped me kind of get over, helped me get over it. I actually got in the woods and got a deer last year by myself. So I was pretty proud of that. Either which way, considering I couldn't, it took me quite a while to really feel good. I actually had kind of a little bit of I'll just call it an episode last year. I'm a little embarrassed by it, but I got out there and the rifle I use, it only has one round, and it's kind of it's not your quickest reload. And I didn't have my pocket knife, which is not like me at all. And I think I only had maybe like 3 or 4 rounds on me. And I was hunting in a different area that I normally don't hunt. And I call it the Buck Highway because I know that's where they kind of cross back and forth. And I just I don't know if I just sat there and freaked myself out or what, but I had to get out of there. I had to leave. Right off of that trail, I could see maybe a 10 by 20 area that was just super flat. It literally looked like it was a depression, and you could tell something had been laying in there. And in my mind, it was just too big for a deer. And I didn't expect a Bigfoot to come out, but okay, so you remember what I said about the ant kind of messing around with some stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Recently, I'm trying not to talk about other shows while I'm on your show, but it's pertinent. So a friend of mine, she talked me into writing into Steve Isdall, and I did. I shared my encounter. I shared some sketches, and like he read my encounter, gave me props, and I was blown away that that he actually uploaded my drawings and stuff. Let's see, where was I going with that? Okay, so recently you could pay $30 and listen to his conversation with Melba Ketchum. So I did, and that's not something I would normally do, but they dropped a whole bunch of stuff I'd never even heard about. Bigfoot being radioactive, using portals, being able to raise and lower their body temperature. I don't want to ruin it or take away from him, but there's a whole bunch of stuff they talked about, and I'm actually talking to the aunt one day about it, and she said, "Oh yeah, there's a portal back there, there's a portal over there, and there's a water portal over there." I've never even heard of that, right? That's one of the things they actually specifically touched on was a water portal. So I thought that was pretty hit the nail right on the head. I don't know what it means or anything like that, but that kind of freaked me out a little bit.
Interesting. Yeah.
Have you ever heard of anything like that?
Yeah, I pretty much do because throughout the day, sometimes I might listen to a new podcast or there's a few that I listen to on a regular basis, and yeah, I watched. Oh my God, I can shoot myself. I didn't write it down, but um, Untold Radio. There's one with Jim Myers, and he had Ronnie LeBlanc from Expedition Bigfoot, and them two were talking about some interesting, things that that's happened over the years, and some of the stuff was actually taken out of the show. Certain things they didn't want to touch. They didn't want to go near it.
Really?
Yeah. So yeah, every day,
So
so- go ahead, I'm
I
sorry.
never would look at the. I hate calling. No, I didn't mean to talk over you. I hate calling it the woo side of Bigfoot, but the way I see it is, if there is something that big creeping around, it's gonna leave footprints everywhere. I mean,
Right.
and they're gonna be deep. And like, I don't care how smart the thing is. I mean, there's just so many circumstances that you can leave footprints. Like, we just got done with the 2-day rain. Everywhere is soup. There's no way I could walk around without leaving something.
Right.
I have never seen. Excuse me. I've never seen a footprint that I saw out in the woods, or knew for sure. Um, I haven't seen one. That doesn't mean that they don't exist, but I've never seen one.
Yeah, I've learned over the years not to get into the argument side of Bigfoot, and what I mean by that is, somebody will tell you, oh, you should never gift them, you should never give them a gift, or that there's no such thing as a portal for Bigfoot. I don't get into the argument side. I listen to everything, and I take into consideration, and if it seems to me that it makes sense or it's possible, yeah, I don't ridicule anyone. I won't touch you.
Nor do I.
Because there's no expert.
I still don't understand. I don't understand the orb thing, and how that ties in. I can't say that it doesn't fit, or because I really don't know. I've never seen too many people talk about that. Um, I haven't really heard anybody credible link it to UFOs. I'm not saying that it's not. To me, if you're going to be any kind of researcher, which I didn't set out to be a researcher, I kind of am unofficially. The way I see it is, you have to go wherever the evidence goes. Wherever the person's encounter, whatever they say, you got to entertain it for the day, for the discussion anyway.
Right.
I did look up shortly after my thing. I didn't want it to be Bigfoot. Like, for months, I didn't want it to be Bigfoot. I thought it was an owl, or some kind of migratory bird, like a lyre bird. I think lyre bird, maybe. I can't remember how they pronounce it, but they mimic all kinds of normal stuff. I could see that mimicking maybe like a tornado siren. That was plausible to me. Owls. I'm kind of an amateur bird watcher just by chance. And I know some things about birds and owls that, okay, like a great horned owl, when they do this thing where they clack their beak, they snap their beak shut. And that's like a common, grizzly bears do that, alligator, all kinds of animals do that. and it actually sounds like a rock clack. So, I never want to discount anyone's encounter, but there are times where I hear things where I'm pretty sure I have an idea that maybe they're mistaken, and I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings or, um, rock the boat. There are a lot of things that if you go out in the woods on a regular basis, you will see a lot of the things that people are trying to say are Bigfoot evidence. There's other critters that do that. Deer in trees. Mountain lions do that. It wouldn't shock me if a bear did that. I don't know that to be true, but why not?
Well, in crime, in the police department, the FBI, and all that stuff, they have sketch artists. And I honestly think that there needs to be more people in the Bigfoot community like yourself that would be willing to sit and listen and talk to someone that had a sighting and have them describe it so that it could be, put in pencil. And who knows, after a period of time, we could probably have a pretty good idea of what, I'm not going to say all Bigfoot look the same. I honestly don't think they do. So, I just don't see what the problem is with people in the Bigfoot community having against what you do. And they do. But not all. But not all.
There are quite a few. There's actually quite a few that really don't like what I'm doing, and I don't blame them. They think that there's nothing to joke about, and I see that angle too, because I tell you what, it took me a while to get there. I didn't just like step right into doing that. Right. What really got me started was I wasn't chasing Bigfoot. I was trying to chase how to get my content to where I could actually, put it out there without getting copyright strikes and stuff. Because I started putting it on YouTube, and it seemed like every time I turned around, I thought, why am I getting copyright strikes? I bought this app. I thought I bought the rights to the music too. I thought that's how it worked. And a lot of the rules have changed since I first started too. But I didn't really set out to do funny with it. I really wanted to do just, it's singing music, or I just picked Bigfoot because it was looking for a human face, the app was. So I thought maybe I could just kind of stretch it and play with it. And it kind of morphed into what it is and what I've done with it. As far as I know, when I started, there was nobody doing it. So I kind of felt like I really felt like I was chasing my own kind of creative, thing. And then it didn't hit me until way later that people might take offense to it. And then I thought, right. Well, great, good job. You literally did exactly the opposite of what you were trying to do. And so I'm trying to work it back to where, it's a little more serious, to where it's not so funny. But, if you can make light of a serious topic, you can make it to where people can deal with it, and if they won't, right. If they're not willing to laugh about it, yeah, I mean, to me, that's where it's at. And there's multiple reasons why I'm doing what I'm doing, but comedy is one of the few things we got left. And, when I can't have that anymore, or we can't have that anymore, we are seriously in trouble. We basically we've let a 2-letter thing that I deal with a lot, literally oversee what it is we say to each other. And that is not, I don't think anybody knew that was going to happen. And here we are, and no one knows what to do about it. You say the wrong thing. I've done it many times. I did it last week. My stuff just literally fell flat. I spent a lot of work on it, and it just goes because I said the wrong thing. So I have to walk on eggshells, as does everyone else. So that's the other reason why I'm here.
Hey, Chris.
I can't say I've got.
We're gonna take a quick break. We're at the top of the hour. I'm gonna play a commercial for a friend of mine, and we'll be right back and talk some more Bigfoot.
Yep, I'm gonna take a pit stop.
All right, and we're back.
All right, I'm here.
Back on.
I'm here. I'm here.
Now, last week when I tried to play the commercials, they wouldn't play right. One of them just messed up as well, but I got it on there. So, now
I like your intro.
Thank you. I'm going to shorten it, definitely, but yeah, I got it sitting in a folder. I'm working on it, and I'm going to change it up. So let me just check the. There's a comment. Oh, here we go. Hey guys. Okay, here's a question from a good friend of mine.
Go for it.
Kathy, she says, "Hey guys, what about when rocks are being thrown at you?"
There's a couple of times where my wife and we thought that was what was going on, but I kind of felt silly, but it was acorns falling from the trees. It's hard to tell. Um, I haven't ever had that happen to me, so I don't know what I'd do. Um,
Well, back in the late '80s, I had a different situation. I had more than rocks thrown at me. I had apples, branches, and yeah, it was a corn on the cob. Yeah, a number of things. But I was working on a farm, and the owner had some. Give me 1 second. I want to pass this phone to my wife. Um, yeah, we had a number of things thrown at us. A friend and I were working on a farm, and there was a bar nearby that had a lot of fruit and stuff like that in it, and like I said, rocks, apples, branches. Yeah, it's not fun, especially when you get hit. Now, my friend got hit with a rock in the back of his neck.
All right,
And he's
just getting off work.
My friend was not a believer, even though he was having the experiences we were having on that farm.
Right.
Now we didn't see the Bigfoot, but we smelt it, we heard it, and had other incidents that happened throughout the months.
I want you to come out and get the bag.
I'm sorry.
so did I tell you my theory?
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of putting myself up there quite a bit by doing so.
I'm not sure.
Chris, give me 1 second. I have someone that stopped by. I'm sorry. Hold on.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. My note on the door?
Yeah.
It's dark out there. I'm sorry. Thank you, Dave. All right, I'm back.
It was quick.
Yeah. I didn't even have to get up. I thought I had the door locked, but my son stopped by. So, Kathy, thank you for that question. And how are you doing? Okay, we can let's get back to so I mentioned to you about wow, that is nice. Very nice.
I put a lot of detail in that one. It's really hard to show you.
I like that.
There's too much light going on.
Now there's
Thank
something
you.
I'm going to share. There's something I'm going to share with you, but not on the podcast tonight. Next time we talk by phone, I want to share something with you that I've only shared with a number of people, and very, very interesting. So,
I got one I'd like to run by you real quick.
Mhm.
So my wife's coworker, her dad, he actually has a handprint on a window. Don't quote me on it. It's something like 8 to 10 foot off the ground, and where it is on the window, it's underneath where the rain would hit. So it actually, it's still there. And I was supposed to go. I've actually got a picture of it, and I mean, it literally looks just like some of the other ones that you'd find online. He's around about 70 years old. He's not a liar. I talked to the guy pretty much all day one day, and he told me he actually saw one. He had some other really crazy, crazy stories that I just didn't feel comfortable with bringing them out to the world. Like, hey, everybody, my name's Chris, and here's this crazy story you'll never believe. So I feel bad because I have a couple of his encounters, and I need someone to kind of look over my shoulder and help me do the right thing with them. He told me stories about this monster snake, big, huge, big black snake that he ran over that, he said it was 8 inches across. We're talking like, that big around. He said he's 15, and I fully believe him. He took me to the spot. I walked it out, and it was very long. It would be upwards of like a world record. And where we were is super wooded. There's some other weird things in that area too. I think it's safe to say that one of his family members actually was camping out there and ran into two of them, and he doesn't want any notoriety. He doesn't want to talk about it. Nothing. So that's one I really like to, somebody I'd really like to talk to. People share their stories with me, and I've asked my entire life, anyone I've talked to longer than 5 minutes, hey, you got anything you put in your weird category? And usually they've got something, whether it be ghosts or whatever. I got no desire to go that direction. That's just me personally.
Mark says I have never personally had a Bigfoot experience. I've spent a lot of time in the woods all across America, hunting, fishing, camping, exploring, but I've always been interested in Bigfoot.
That's how I was. I still feel that way.
Once you have an experience, it's hard to get away from it. It really is. I'm going to throw something else up there.
My neighbor.
I'm going to go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I just thought of a couple other little things. People are all the time throwing it up at the wall. Well, where's the evidence? There is no such thing as Bigfoot. And it's like, that's a really bold statement to say. There's no such thing. We find new species literally every day. Every day. We find extinct species, that science says don't exist anymore, but yet they find them. So for someone to say that's not a very bright person in my book. I can't say that I've seen, full body stand there in front of me because I haven't. I really don't want to. I really don't. I think it would change me too much. Just the noise messed me up, so I can't. No, thank you.
When I was into ghost hunting, I used to be a host for ghost tours and overnight hunts and stuff like that. Some of the investigators that would come to the place, and I'm going to put this message up there in a second, would come to the location, and just because they didn't have an experience, they would tell me, I think this place is a crock of shit. We didn't have nothing happen overnight. It's not, when you ghost hunt, you're not guaranteed to have a full-blown body apparition or, But let me put this comment up there from Kathy, and then I'm gonna show you the place. I don't know, but the weekend we stayed at Ramblewood, there was something in the woods. I didn't sleep that whole weekend and was out by myself the whole night. Something out there was making really creepy sounds. Now, I'm going to show you a picture of the place, and then I'm going to make a comment on it if I can. Okay, here we go. I just got to get down to where. Nope. Back up. Wrong way, dude. And let's throw this up there real quick. This is Kathy. She's the one that made the comment. And let's see, where's oh, come on, I know it's up there. It's up there somewhere. Here we go.
I don't see anything on my screen, so you know.
No. You're not seeing it?
No, I just see me. That's it. And I don't dare try to touch anything.
Okay.
I have moving my
right.
camera as an option.
Right. So
If it's not
let's
broken,
see. Let me get back to there. Okay. So are you seeing comments when I put them up, or just not photos? No.
No, just
Wow.
yeah, nothing. I just see me. That's it. I mean, I'm willing to try something if you've got something I can try.
Let me try this. Let's go down to where you're at. Okay, let's see. Are you seeing that?
No.
No?
So
Wow.
my camera says it says camera 2, 1, comma, facing front. And then I have mirror my camera. And then I can hit a little down arrow.
Okay. I have it set on, let's see, what is that? Cropped layout, where you and I are side by side. So let me hit the next one and see what happens. No, that's too small. So I'll put it back to normal.
The only time I've seen you is right when we first got on, right before we got on.
Okay. All day this cold didn't bother me, and now won't leave me alone. So now you said you're going to be drawing for, what is it?
Bigfoot's of Michigan.
Is that Michigan? Okay, that's
yeah. I
really
believe
cool.
he just started season 2. I think he just started season 2. He's kind of busy right now. He's got a lot going on.
Right. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. I wish you the best with that.
Yeah, I'm like I said. I really want people to trust me and know that I'll put the work in. If I mean, however long it takes. I take this real seriously, even though you can't tell by my content. That's just as much for me as it is for everybody else.
I like your work. I really do. That's why I think I've
I tried
you a few times.
Well, it's not what I'd like it to be, but basically it is what it is, and it's the best I can do, considering I'm not a techie. And I get better as I go along. Hopefully I can, throw a little money at it and maybe, make my content that much better. I hope to. Or, maybe create a team. I'm working on a team right now. There's a lot of good people out there still. Not everybody in the community is a jerk.
Well, I'll tell you this. Anytime you want me to post something for you, be more than welcome. I mean, yeah, I'm there for you, man.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I just can't understand. I just can't understand why in the Bigfoot community that people are carrying on the way they're carrying on about this AI or, artists is drawing Bigfoot. Unless you
I do understand it.
You do?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I really am not a big fan of, technology. I spent my whole life avoiding it. So for me to be here using it, it's like, I don't know. I mean, I just feel like I was pushed to this point. Like I had no other option in order to reach a broad audience. Like I had to do something weird, something drastic. And that wasn't really necessarily my goal. I really wanted to share survival stuff. That was really what I wanted to do. And I still do,
Mhm.
and I still will. But, it's even, I have to walk on eggshells with it too. They don't like certain things that look like this. They don't like that.
Mhm.
I saw a lot of this stuff a long time ago, and I've been poo-pooed. I've been called the conspiracy guy for so long that it doesn't matter to me anymore. You can call me whatever you want to. I know I've been right, and I didn't want to be. I don't know. Me personally, I'm a Bible believer. And it gives us clear instructions, and it gives us what to look for. I literally see it. We're standing at the door of some really bad stuff, and it's gonna be so fast. It's gonna be sitting in your lap so fast that it's gonna make your head spin.
Right.
I'm really proud of this one. I think this would make an awesome blanket or a poster.
Now, here's a good question
I
for
think
you.
I counted.
How long did it take you to complete that?
This one was probably 3 or 4 sessions. And what I call a sessions anywhere from I really don't put a timer on it, but usually when I sit down to do it, it's anywhere from 3 to 4 hours, 3 to 5 hours. And then this one was probably 15, maybe more. Because I'll just sit
Right.
there and I'll turn back to it every so often with fresh eyes. Like this is a whole different style of drawing. The way I do this is okay. So when I draw, I don't always do this, but I like to unfocus my eyes and kind of relax
Mhm.
them. And then I'm looking at the whole thing. I'm not really pinpointing on anything. And then I look for dark spots. I kind of do the pareidolia thing. I let my brain just kind of look for what it wants to see and kind of fill it in. And
Right.
it's an Indian tactic. A Native American. I think they, I can't remember what they call it, but I just call it scatter vision. But they take in the whole thing, and they're not really looking for anything in particular. They just kind of let whatever stand out, and it kind of causes I notice things when I do that. I do it when I hunt. Um, when I look for 4-leaf clovers, I do that, and they just stand up. They just pop out, So, um,
I I have a question. I just put a comment up there for you. Can you see it?
uh-uh.
Okay, it's from Kathy. It says you are a great artist.
Thank you. Does their last name start with an S?
Middle name.
Okay, I don't know her middle name. I have somebody I have in mind. I thought maybe I don't even know
She's
how to
from
pronounce it. I just know how to spell it.
yeah, she's from Baltimore, Maryland.
I'm not sure if I don't think that's the same person.
Now, I'm going to put this one up and I'll read it to you. It says, Karen LS, your work is good, really good. Ignore the negative people and trust yourself. Your work will take you far. Keep going. It's your gift.
Thank you. I appreciate that. If you couldn't tell, I don't like the sales part of it. It kills it for me.
My maiden name is Stone.
Mm.
Do you know somebody named?
Okay, Kathy's last name, maiden name, does end with an S.
Stone?
Stone.
Not the one I was thinking of.
Okay. Wow.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know if you
If I
saw
could,
any of my old stuff, but
He's
it's
handsome.
horrible.
my wife said he was handsome.
I've heard that a couple times on a few of these.
He's handsome. That explains me, right?
I always joke. That's funny.
Uh,
Sometimes I'll start
did
on
he
one
do-
like this one, and I'm just not feeling it. And I used to really this is how I used to be all of them. Any drawing I did, I just never finished it.
right.
Well, then when it came to this, I don't know. I had a different drive about it, and now I'll come back to them sometimes, and I'll actually finish them up. So I actually spent some money that I don't have. Yes, I do, but no, I don't. It could be going to 10 different places, but
Excuse me.
it's an art program, and they teach you how to paint. And I think with painting, once I got some practice under my belt, I think I could do what I'm doing in a different way. So it's a way to add color to it quickly, to catch the light. Uh, my art is missing something, and I don't know what it is yet. And I know it has to do with lighting, edges, So I really want to explore this and get as good as I can, because I feel like I owe it to myself to do this. I'm 42, so hopefully I've still got some days in me, and I do want to use my content for a good purpose. When I came out to my friends and family and I said, "Hey, I think I might have heard or seen a Bigfoot," I got so many different reactions. I'm the the laughing stock anyway. So that's being serious. So if I'm gonna get laughed at, I might as well do it on purpose. So, uh, like I said, I really didn't
let me
set out
ask
to
you.
do that.
Right. If someone wants to get in touch with you, how can they do so?
You can find me on Facebook. The AOS is really important. So it's AOS Chris Miller, because there are quite a few Chris Millers that are already established artists, and they're accomplished artists. And Chris Miller's like John Smith. There's 1,000 of them. So the AOS kind of sets me apart, and it just kind of fell. I just kind of fell into that. I didn't like Sketch Squatch. I never really liked the name. But I left my website as that. But so now I'm just trying to go by AOS Chris Miller, and hopefully I can just transition to AOS, because they
tell you
don't,
what,
my signature gets flagged.
Wow. Yeah, see, I can't. I'm going to let you look over my, let's see, which way do I go? There we go. See my guitar back there, right? It's got a Bigfoot sticker on it. That's the best I can do. I can't draw.
You sent me a picture. I've seen it, but I can't see it now.
Yeah. Yeah, I sent you one. Yeah.
Blue, right?
What's that?
It's blue?
It's the guitar is blue. Yeah, blue and black. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's got the Bigfoot down the bottom. It says believe.
Sasquatch, believe.
Sasquatch, believe is what it says. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe in Jesus. But they say that belief is a question. And I recently came by that. So I kind of want to change my wording on that a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I trust in Jesus. And I believe in Bigfoot. I know that people are seeing things. I recently heard an encounter. The guy was actually not in this state, but I just heard this encounter maybe a week ago. And I tell you what, he mimicked that noise that I heard almost. I mean, he nailed it. And his encounter was like, it was like 3 steps above what I had, and I could hear it in his voice, and I recognize it because I've been there. And it's like he's fresh off of this. It didn't happen that long ago, and he's a veteran. And man, I tell you what, I felt for him. He's a big guy. He's like 6'5" or something. And it's like, you know, to be that big, you shouldn't be scared of nothing. And you know, I really do. I understand what he's. You know, he's a hunter. You know, he likes going out in the woods, and to have that kind of snatched from you or turned into a negative thing is like. What really did it for me is somebody told me, they said, he didn't give us a spirit of fear, but a power, love, and a sound mind. That's what did it for me. And I knew that already, but to hear it again and to really believe it, I go out there unarmed now because I don't think, you know, I think I can, if they are a bad thing, which I don't think they're our friends, but I think I have authority over it too.
Well, you know what they say. They say that they're not allowed to hurt us.
That's what I see. There's too many times where they could have and they don't. So that's kind of what helped shaped my opinion on it, or my theory. My theory is quite a bit different than everybody else's, but I don't know. I don't really need to prove it. I don't have to be right. I don't want to be right. It doesn't matter to me.
Right.
I am curious about it, but I just don't want to spend more time on Bigfoot than I do on anything.
I'm sorry, the last part of that broke up.
I don't want to spend more time on Bigfoot than what I do something else.
Right.
So if I can be helping somebody, no, that's really where I want to be. You know, I'd like to make an income. I know that as soon as I do, no one will take me seriously at all. So if it means I don't make a single dollar, I'm okay with that. I can always draw something else.
Mm-hmm.
But what's cooler than to draw something you know or something you don't know? I think that's a bigger achievement, to draw something you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen the gorilla sketches from, you know, before they knew what gorillas looked like?
No.
They don't really look like, I mean, they weren't too bad, but some of them are kind of goofy looking. Reading all these encounters and all these different, you know, different things over the years, it's usually like a line drawing and it's out of proportion, and it's like, is that really what they saw? Because I really want to help people nail down what they saw and get it as close to, yep, that's it. Like if I could draw it myself, I wouldn't draw it any better. So there's a lot of good people out there doing it. I say a lot. Tabilla Irwin, she's a big reason, why I'm here. I actually reached out to her because I didn't want to like come in and just like, start, making waves. And she, there's plenty of, it's a big table, there's plenty of people out there. So, she's been real great. I've ran into some other people that are, pretty good people. They may not draw like I do, but AI, it's getting to the point where you can almost, I started making AI images and I can get it pretty close to what I'm thinking in my head. I'm still learning that side of it. Did you see the one I sent you earlier today?
Don't recall.
I sent it. I think I texted it to you.
I may have. I've had a long day. But I will look when I get off to here. Refresh my memory. Yeah.
I tried to create a name for it, and I call it AI Plus. I couldn't think of anything. I wanted to keep it short. I'm hoping to abbreviate it to where it's just AI with a plus sign. But right now, I write it out lowercase. So I'm trying to turn that into a hashtag to where if anybody wants to see any of my AI stuff, it takes them to that. It actually saves me a lot of time doing it that way because I can get it close and then I can kind of finish it up the way I want. And a lot of people are using the AI images and it'll have 3 arms and 6 toes and, wow. I can fix a lot of that for people. So, I'm hoping maybe I turn that into an income. I'm not sure. I'm so creative on certain things, but then on certain things, I'm not creative. That doesn't make any sense to me. Money's not the only thing that drives me. I like to see someone's face, like, say you needed a logo. I will draw better for you than I would for myself because I want to make you happy. So I like seeing that joy, I like having that, somebody really liking it.
Years ago, I used to do with the paranormal group, I used to do, it's called Other Voices. The Dead Have Something to Say. I've been trying to come up with a logo for that because it's something I'm going to add to my show where weekly I'm going to play 3, 4, maybe 5 EVPs, which stands for Electronic Voice Phenomena. And I've been, I've come up with a few ideas, but I've scratched them and, I just need a good logo for it so that I can put it up there before I do the EVPs. So I'm going to be talking to you about that.
I'm pretty black and white on that one. Like I don't budge much on that one. Bible says that people are asleep when they pass.
I'm sorry, what was that? You broke up.
The Bible says that people are asleep when they pass away. They're asleep, and it says don't talk to the dead because you don't know what you're talking to. Which that to me is a scary thing. So that's
Right.
I made up my mind on that a long, long, long time ago, and I've never had any kind of, I'm not gonna say paranormal. Um, I haven't had anything that I know of for sure that was super strange. Um, I have a couple orb things. I've got a lot of UFO stuff on camera. Um, Never really did anything with a lot of it. I used to really be into aliens, like you wouldn't believe.
Wow.
I dropped it like a sack of bricks. So
Hmm.
I got a
So
couple buddies that go
Go
for it.
ahead. I'm sorry. No, I was
Oh,
just going to
they
say I
told me a
wanted
story.
you to.
Oh, go. 1, 2, 3, go.
Yeah. I wanted you to. We're going to get ready to. Let's see where we at. Yeah, we're coming up on the end of the second hour, so I wanted to make sure you got your website out there because when I played your bio, I didn't like the way it sounded. You know.
Yeah, it's real easy. It's AOS lowercase underscore sketch underscore squatch.com.
Okay.
And I really need to get on there and upload a bunch of images. Like most everything on there is it's my beginning stuff. So I really need I've got a friend that said he's willing to help me, so I really need to focus on that.
Okay. Now, Chris, is there anything else you wanna discuss? Maybe something I left out. Um, if I have, I apologize. I'm just not feeling well, and I'm sorry about
No,
that.
I actually this is probably my favorite one I've been on this so far.
Well, I do want to have you back again, so we'll discuss that and set another time and date to have you back on again. Yeah,
Yeah, sure.
and hopefully I'll be feeling much better. It's hell when you get sick and then get better and then get sick again on top of it. Yeah.
I meant to tell you this earlier. It sounds silly, but try humming. They say when
Humming.
you hum, you make nitrous oxide, and that kills the germs. And it vibrates at a certain frequency. It's kind of like a cat purring.
Never heard that.
So yeah, I'm all over the place. I got all kinds of stuff.
Very interesting. Now I did take your advice on that. Let me tell you, I tore some lemons up before the podcast, and I'm probably going to tear
And
some
what do
more
you
up.
think? What's the verdict? It feels good,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
yeah. I mean, it lasted a good while, and then I started coughing again, and you know how it is.
Yep.
But nothing lasts forever.
Well, I really appreciate you having me on. I'm glad I was able to do this.
Yes, and thank you again for being my guest tonight. Um, being sick, I didn't want to cancel, didn't want to do that. I've done enough of that, and I just gotta get the show going so it's up there every week, and you have these times where it's one thing to the next, always. It's the way it seems, it's the way it seems lately. So, all right.
Yeah.
So, anything else you want to get out there? You want to plug or?
I do have a few friends that they've really tried to help me a lot, and I'm trying to kind of help them as well.
Okay.
There's the Face of Sasquatch. He makes Bigfoot content, and he's got a good heart on it. He really wants to be a good thing to the community, and then also the Bigfoot tour. It's Not What You Think. Those are both great guys. They're friends of mine. So, um, yep, good people, and we're trying to come up with some good content, and we really want to be of service.
Do me a favor and send that information to me in a text, and I'll work on it. Yeah, definitely.
Sure.
I'll from time to time, including yourself, when I do other podcasts, I'm going to put your contact information up there, and I'll put theirs as well.
Good deal.
Sound good?
I appreciate it.
All right, let me see. All right, we're close enough to the top of the hour, so I'm gonna thank you, Kathy. Yeah, I hope I get better too. And,
I was about to say, get some rest.
Yeah, Kathy said she heard about that humming. All
See?
right, so there you go. All right, I want to thank everyone for listening tonight, and I want to thank you again for being my guest tonight. And give me a little bit, and we'll chat later. If you're going to be up, I'll give you a call.
Sure. Yeah, I'll be drawn.
All right. Let me just
thank you.
Get something ready here. You're welcome. All right, so that is it for tonight, and I'll see everybody again next Saturday, and I'll get the posting up a lot earlier than I have been getting it up because of me being sick. So thank you, Chris, and thank everyone for listening in, and good night, everyone.
Good night.
Look at that.